I know that I'm in the small minority of this, but what a beautiful week of soccer for Orange County Soccer Club. 3 goals scored, 0 goals conceded. This is the beautiful game. I've talked about it many times. Just have to score more goals than the other team. The easiest way to do that, just don't concede a goal, which is that's what Orange County did over the last 2 matches that happened this past week. We're going to talk about those matches. We're going to talk about what's coming up next, plus a little bit more. Let's get right into this. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I am your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Helping me out in this episode, the one who filled in for me last week while I was at the Intuit Dome watching LA Clippers basketball, we got Dylan. Dylan, how are we doing, my man?
Doing great. How was your, was it hip to clip? How was that? How'd that go for you?
If you don't know that phrase, look it up. That's how I got started in this whole podcasting world.
How'd the game go?
Oh, the game was fun. They won. It was a lot closer than it should have been, but they beat Dallas. And now we got playing basketball starting tomorrow as we're recording this. But we got to talk about Orange County Soccer Club. Also helping us out on this, we've got Mr. Brad. Brad, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, and someone should tell the Trailblazers, Suns, Miami, and Charlotte, because playing basketball started today as we're recording, and Miami's already done so.
Well, I'm just talking about LA Clippers playing basketball, which starts Clippers.
This is my fault. I'm sorry, everybody.
There you go. Clips right there. We also have got another person helping us out on this episode, the man that roams the sidelines, match in, match out. He's looking for something in the roof, ceiling, something.
No, I'm looking for some conversation about soccer. I don't want to hear about basketball. Nobody gives a shit about basketball. Let's go.
At least it's not baseball.
Yes, Larry, how are you doing soccer wise? Let's talk about soccer.
Soccer wise, I could not be any possibly better. I mean, what a week for Orange County Soccer Club. Literally, it could not have gone any more according to plan than what it just did. It was beautiful. I loved it.
And that's the beautiful thing of this sport. A team scores 3 goals in the week. You're like, okay, maybe they won one match. Maybe they drew another match. Maybe it was a win and a loss. But Orange County is growing and growing in confidence with their defensive, tactics. They're looking really strong defensively, and this is early on in the season. Now, obviously, as we get later into the season, teams will figure out maybe ways to break down Orange County, but right now, Orange County's solid defensively, and again, just have to score a goal or two to win these matches. The first match that happened or occurred over the past week was the match last Wednesday as Orange County hosted San Antonio FC. At the time, San Antonio was one of the few remaining undefeated teams in the USL Championship. They came to Championship Soccer Stadium and they lose 2-0 to Orange County Soccer Club, the good guys. And it's looking better. I know there's still questions and there's still people that have frustrations with some of the stuff, but I feel like it's starting to look better. Dylan, your thoughts on that?
This was a game in which Orange County looked very good. We looked good and San Antonio looked terrible. Mitch Tainer had an awful night. Alex Crognoli looked wow. Bad. I don't miss him. I think the last time he's prone to a performance like that, facing that direction of the pitch. Of course, I think the last time he did that was when he was playing for Orange County against Phoenix. Just switched off, unable to handle what was going on. And even though this was a really stop-start kind of match, it didn't get too crazy, which was kind of nice, I think, rather than watching countless yellow cards. Now, shout out to Chris Hagar, who will probably watch get booked a little bit later on. I feel like he just felt like he was left out from the yellows that were amassing and had to get in there himself. But largely, Orange County did what they needed to. I think San Antonio should have been down to 10 men right before the half. I'm glad they weren't, because I don't think Orange County does as well if San Antonio is down to 10. But I just want to shout out Lyam MacKinnon for really coming into his own this week. Really, really wonderful first touch to bring this ball down. Places this pretty perfectly past their goalkeeper. And, you know, if we keep playing like this, we'll be just fine this year.
Yeah, I feel like the opening goal in the match from MacKinnon, that's a goal or a shot that last season when we were struggling to really get good quality attempts on goal, that's a shot that goes wide. I think we can all recall someone like a Cameron Dunbar taking a shot like that, and it's going 10 feet to the right of the post. Obviously, MacKinnon's a more established and polished goal scorer when you're like in the middle of the pitch. So it was beautiful to see, and it was nice to see Orange County on the attack early. That's a good thing to see, because I know a lot of people have been calling out, hey, we need some goals. We can't just sit there and play defense for 80 minutes and hope we get something. Brad, what was your thought on the performance from Orange County, and do you think that this is a good style of play to go through the season and hopefully have a really good season?
Yeah, this is the defense that we were expecting out of the team, combined with an offense that did just enough to make it convincing. I agree with Dylan. Mitchell Tainter had a absolutely waffler of a game. I don't even know if that's an actual thing, but I just made it one. It was a really, really bad game from him, and kudos to Orange County for capitalizing on a couple of mistakes. But also, Rando earning his spot for Team of the Week. He played phenomenally in this game as well, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about Rando. I think Rando, just as we were talking about the team, had a great week, and I know Lyam MacKinnon had a great week. I think Rando had a pretty good week for the club as well. I feel like the better of his two performances was the match over the weekend against Tulsa on the road. But I think, and we're calling out a couple names here, I think the team as a whole did really well. Larry, let me come to you, because you're the one that has the front row seat to all of this action that you're seeing out there. What are you seeing from the orange and black, the players in orange and black? Sorry. What are you seeing from those players for Orange County that's clicking? Like, what is making this work well at the moment? And is this something that you see as a sustainable course for Orange County from what you're seeing with the chemistry on the pitch?
Naturally, I hope that it is sustainable. I mean, you want something like this to be sustainable for the entire season and then lift the cup at the end of the year. What I am seeing a lot of is just patience to find the open man. A couple of the goals that we scored today, this past weekend, were long balls, but they were beautifully touched passes. The pass from Marcelo to Lyam was absolutely magnificent. I mean, dropped it on a dime. The pass from Mo to Lyam, absolutely amazing. So we're finding the open man when we need to. I think that what the most important thing here is, though, is we're not giving up goals. I mean, we're talking 7 league games so far this year. We have conceded 3 goals, 1 penalty, 1 own goal, and 1 goal in open play. And that's it. And that is an amazing 7-game run to do something like that. I said last year, if this team is healthy, this is one of the most dangerous teams in USL Championship. And we brought all of those players back. And we are 90% healthy. Grayson Duty's coming back. Ryan Dogman he's going to be back sometime very soon, to the best of my knowledge and understanding. So that's a team, with the addition of those 2 in particular, that's going to make Orange County Soccer Club a very hard team to beat moving forward.
It definitely will. And the beautiful thing with the way the team is playing, the players that are playing right now on the pitch, they are making Coach Danny Stone's job difficult, because now obviously you have to rotate in soccer because you don't want players to get stagnant. You don't want them to now have to be called upon and they struggle because they haven't played in a month or two. So there's going to have to be this rotation. But you have a group of players that seem to have really good chemistry right now. They seem to be playing as a unit and not as individuals, which, as we all know, when players are playing as individuals, doesn't usually go well. This team seems to be playing very well together. They are being stingy on the defense. They are playing like a well-oiled machine on the defense. And you're going to see some of these players that, obviously I don't think any of us had Mo War penciled in as have to start matches on the defensive side of things. Probably not even in the offensive end. You're not looking at him as a starter. You're looking at him as a key piece to the puzzle that gets some moments here and there. I feel at this point, someone like a Mo War is a lock on defense. And Larry calls out Grayson Duty coming back into action here. There's now a problem for Coach Danny Stone. He has to try and now figure out where he's going to split these minutes for these players. I feel like Mo War has been awesome because you watch him. He's an offensive ball at the feet type of player on your defensive end who's playing solid defense, but then can also get past the other team with the ball at his feet, which you haven't seen much in the past. Let's talk about the hero for this match. I know we talked about Lyam MacKinnon's opening goal. We got a goal from Bazzini, which it's soccer 101. Someone just needs to, if a shot's taken on goal, follow up. You might get a rebound. You might get an easy goal. That was one of the easiest goals he's probably ever seen. There was a chance for him to get something in the second half, I believe, if it's Stephen Kelly makes the one-touch pass instead of stumbling or tripping over the ball a little bit and making a late pass. Bazzini would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper there and probably scores. So there was multiple opportunities for Orange County in this match. Who was the star for you for this match, Dylan?
I feel like maybe it's a little bit unsung hero, but Nico Benalcazar, I think he did really well getting up the left, and I think that made a really big difference for Orange County. San Antonio just could not handle it, and I think when you have Chris Hagart and Nico Benalcazar willing to get forward, suddenly you have Alex Connolly like trying to shift over, and their defense just couldn't handle it. So most of my props are going to be for the man from Connecticut.
Hey, I feel like he's going to be a name you probably can never go wrong with week in and week out. You can slot him pretty much anywhere on the pitch, and he's going to, if not be like the outstanding player of the match, he always seems to be at least steady and consistent in whatever role you're putting him in. What about you, Brad? Do you have a star of the match other than Nico, or do you agree with Dylan on that call?
No, I'm going to go with Alex Rando. Look, he's had more clean sheets during his time with Orange County than he did in a full season for Vegas. I don't remember I don't remember what year that was, but that's just an absolute insane stat, given that we are 8 games into the regular season, I believe it is, or 7 games in. Just absolute class from him. He does the saving a little bit better than Colin Shuttler. A little bit of concern at times when he gets the ball at his feet, but absolute phenomenal signing, moving from, stupendous goalie to stupendous goalie to stupendous goalie for the team.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, I mean, Rando and Shuttler are two different goalies, two different styles of goalie. Shuttler is a total sweeper keeper, likes to get high up the pitch whenever possible. You see him many times close to the halfway mark when the ball's on the other side, especially on a free kick. So Rando seems to be a little bit more moderately sweeper, a little bit more between the post for most of the time there. But it's nice to see that the youngster that is getting big moments here for a team that's now sitting or top of the West. I don't know if it's changed since I last looked, because I know Orange County has a few more games than some other teams. But Larry, your man of the match, if there's anyone different, or if not, we can move on and you can give your final thoughts on this match.
Well, I do have somebody different, And where you guys are talking about the young fellas, I'm going to talk about the old man. I'm going to talk about Poppy. I'm talking about Kevin Partita. Kevin, in both games this week, Kevin was absolutely just as solid as he could possibly be, all over the pitch, disrupting the defense, distributing the ball out to the wings, just being a huge pain in the backside to the offenses. That brilliant clearance off of the line. Just I can't say enough about Kevin and the way he is playing this year. He is playing like a true veteran who should be a team leader and is a team leader. It's great to watch. I'm loving it.
Perfect. Larry, since you were the only one that was actually physically at this match, I'm going to give you the final say on this match before we move on to the other match that happened this past weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, I do have a witness to this, but before the game, I talked to one of our young fans, and I asked him what was the score going to be the score of the game, and he said 2-0 Orange County. I said, no, he said 2-1 Orange County. I said, great. Who's going to score? And he said, Lyam and Garrison. And I told him, hey, look, the last time somebody predicted Garrison was going to score a goal, Garrison got red carded. And that was me who made that prediction. So then I told him, I said, tonight, I'm telling you right now that Lyam's going to score and that Yaniv is going to score. So I predicted that those were going to be our two goal scorers. Another one of those times in my life where, the 3 times I've ever been right, last Wednesday was one of them. I thought this was a great game all the way around. I talked briefly to Danny after the game and just congratulated him and said, man, I don't know what you did this week, but the game plan that you had in place for these boys was absolutely perfect. It could not have gotten any better. We could not have controlled this game any more than we did. So kudos to Danny. Kudos to the boys out on the pitch for this this game against San Antonio. Let's talk about Tulsa.
Let's talk about Tulsa. After the high of winning at home against San Antonio 2-0, they took a trip to probably is what's one of the more difficult trips to make in the USL. When you go to Tulsa, it's sort of one of those smaller cities. Airport probably doesn't have many direct flights in and out. So pretty much most teams are looking at layovers to get to Tulsa. For whatever reason, Tulsa likes to do explosives at the kickoff, which that seems just really weird to me that they do that. They have some random fan that brings in an air horn that likes to blow it every time the team has a free kick or a corner kick, which I don't get why that happens. But hey, it's Tulsa. But Orange County goes into hostile territory. They do what I've been saying all along. Just score one more goal than the other team. Don't concede goals. You're good. Orange County does that. They leave Tulsa with a 1-0 victory, which put them top of the table in the West. I'm going to go to you, Dylan. What do you think of the match in Tulsa? Was the strategy and the game plan correct, or would you have done something different if you were Coach Stone?
It was. You're gonna love this one. It was the correct one because it was the one that got a result. I neglected to put this into my match review because I wanted to expand upon it. So let me take a moment and say, hey, if you didn't read my match reviews for this past week, go ahead and find yourself on the Orange Black SoccerCast website. Go ahead and read those things. They're pretty great, if I may say so myself. Orange County was very pragmatic last week. And I think if you're going to win 30 matches and ideally like 34 matches, you have to be pragmatic. You have to adapt to the fact that you're playing in a baseball stadium with some really sketchy grass taking up a good bit of the field for the first half. And you have to defend on, I should say. We adapted well to hit long and trust Lyam MacKinnon, who, mind you, while he was the USL Golden Boot, he was also really, really good at progressing the ball up the field, as well as relying on Bazzini to supplement that as well. I feel like he wasn't tasked with as much work as MacKinnon, and I think that's okay. You don't need two of them to be doing the same thing. It's better to have, it's the big man, little man thing, except both of these guys actually happen to be rather large. We won, I think, more interceptions in the first half than we had all year. Like, this was really well done, and Orange County was clearly happy to get numbers behind the ball and remained very, very, very willing to defend. That works super well. And, if you try and play on an actual field somewhere else, you have to adapt differently. But this worked out nicely. And while I'm at it, I just want to take a brief moment and say, hey, I'm certainly glad that no one got hurt on this grass. I'm glad that the biggest issue we had with this grass was about 5 minutes in. Mo slipped. Nothing amounted from it, and everything was great. And I wish that there's a day that they get their own stadium, and we never have to talk about another baseball stadium on this show again.
Baseball stadiums are fun, though, Dylan. Look at that amazing color differential.
That is a comment I would
natural
expect.
Turf.
Yeah, that's a comment I
From
would
me?
expect from Larry, probably shortly after taking a fastball to the head and needing some help.
Brad, was this match, was in there any way that you would say this was a gift win for Orange County? Did Tulsa give this away to us, or is this truly Orange County doing Orange County stuff and getting a well-deserved victory?
I agree with Dylan pretty much across the board. Orange County did just enough to come away with 3 points from this game. Put the ball in the back of the net once, really limit Tulsa's opportunities to generate shots. They did a whole lot of nothing with the ball. I think they had like 3 shots on goal the entire game. And most of those were kind of just sitters for Rando to collect. There wasn't really any threat of Tulsa scoring from this game. And, chalk it up to the defense has been playing phenomenally. Rando's been playing well. Or we have probably the early season front runner for Coach of the Year doing a lot with really a very young and inexperienced team that has really gelled over the last couple weeks. And Orange County definitely did enough to win this game, and in semi-convincing fashion alone.
Larry, let me ask you this, because you brought up Rando when we were talking about San Antonio. I felt like Rando, this was the better match of his 2 matches. I know Brad said there wasn't really a lot of pressure on Rando, but I sort of disagree with that comment, because I felt like there were a few moments where maybe there's not a shot on target, but Rando's in correct positioning for a lot of these attempts, maybe that miss wide, where if he's maybe out of position, then Tulsa's shot attempt is more on target because they're now not trying to get around what is a correct positioning. There was the one that hit the post towards the end of the match where Rando was in a really great position for that. The only place that the player could try to squeeze it by was the far post. And it's one of those things that's very difficult if the goalkeeper is in correct positioning. We got, this header on goal that's right towards Rando at some point. I think it goes maybe slightly wide. There was a blast from outside the box that Rando had to at least get his hands on, which, yes, it might've been straight towards him, but it's still something you have to deal with. And you might have not the perfect vision of it. And you might not grab it. You might, parry it to the side and Tulsa gets it. What are your thoughts on Rando's performance on this? Do you think this was the better of his 2 matches? And what else do you have to say about this match? Go for it.
Let me address Rando first of all. He's been playing really well. I don't think he was particularly challenged in this game. I mean, 3 shots on target, 3 saves. Great. He makes me a little nervous with him going up and punching everything. I would like to see him catch a few more balls, but as long as our defense, there's that blast from out a mile away. That was pretty impressive. Actually,
that was our play.
Was that Mo's? That was Mo's. That was awesome. That was very exciting. I thought for a second that was going in. I don't think this was a particularly pretty game. I don't think it was a well-deserved win. I think it was a win that we should take and run out of town as quickly as possible. 38% possession, only 242 passes total, completed only 62% of them. Not particularly good on taking care of the ball there in regards to that. Defensively, we won a lot of duels. We had a lot of good clearances. But I think we got a little bit lucky here in Tulsa. But at the end of the day, the best team doesn't always win. The team that just gets a little bit of luck and a brilliant pass from Mo Ward to Lyam MacKinnon, that'll get you 3 points and send you on a plane ride back to Orange County and smiling.
So we're looking at the stats, or at least the halftime stats on this match as we're talking about this on the show. If you don't know, we do this. If you listen on podcast, we do a live show of this and just gets released on podcast. So if you're listening on podcast form and you want to check us out live and interact in the comments, follow us on social medias. We will post, the information about our shows. The shows are every Tuesday, 8:00 on YouTube, Instagram. I believe there's other things, but those are the main two that people really pay attention to us on. But follow us, like us, share everything that we talk about on social medias, and you can stay in the know of when we do stuff. There's times we do special shows pre-match from time to time. I'm going to work on getting one of those together coming soon. No, and Dylan, I know this is the private chats, but I will say medias. Let's do this. Dylan, a star of the match for you, and let's try and keep it short because I don't want to stay too long on this before we move on.
Shout out to Mo War, I think. Lyam MacKinnon probably deserves it for the finish, but Mo War did really well, and it's hard to imagine that he's a forward turned right winger turned right back, which is, we've had plenty of players a la Brent Richards in the past, but Mo's doing well, and Danny Stone's going to have a real big headache in about a month when everyone's fit.
I agree with you on that. Brad, you're man of the match for the match against Tulsa.
Yeah, Dylan kind of took what I was expecting to say. Don't fault him. I think it's the right answer. Lyam's goal was really, a great finish by him, but Mo War has unexpectedly been the right back the team's been looking for to replace the outgoing youth that we have.
Larry, quickly, you're man of the match for this before we move on.
I'm going to just throw this out real quick. I received a photograph from one of the players on the team, and he was out on the pitch prior to the game, and he took this picture and sent it to me. And there was a patch of grass about, my green screen is screwing up, but it was probably 24 inches wide and a square that literally was halfway pulled up. So the pitch was a nightmare. As for who's the player of the game, you know what? Brad, Dylan, I agree 100%. Mo War, throw Kevin Partita in there. Lyam's finish was brilliant, as he does. But yeah, it's Mo in this game.
Yeah, Mo was awesome in this match. Mo is quickly becoming one of my favorite players on this year's roster. Although our next guest here is one that is closely on the top of the list for my favorite players, and he's a key reason to why Orange County had a great week. 3-0 basically on the scoreline between two matches. Lyam MacKinnon was responsible for 2 of those goals, and we love it. We're seeing a healthy Lyam MacKinnon out on the pitch, and it's awesome to see. Lyam, welcome to the show. How are you feeling after a great week for Orange County?
Thank you, guys. Feeling great. 2 wins. Couldn't ask for more.
So we've been talking about this all season. I think it's been a debate. I'm a huge fan of what I'm seeing from Orange County this year. I'm a huge fan of minimalist soccer. I want to just see, don't concede a goal and give yourself an opportunity to get results, whether it's a draw here and there or get a 1-0 or 2-0 victory on the season. Orange County's done great on that so far. I think Larry talked about earlier, we've conceded 3 goals in league matches. We've also not been scoring a whole lot, but it seems like there's some good chemistry. The team is really working as a unit, 11 players with this tactics. How are you feeling with your role on this? And how are you feeling with the more minutes that you're getting early on the season being healthy?
No, honestly, it's been great. Even since preseason, I was able to play a lot of minutes, obviously coming back from almost 6 months without playing. So yeah, it's been honestly just a blessing to be able to play so many minutes and perform. And to your point, I think we've been solid as a team in terms of playing together, whether it's defending or attacking. You can really feel in the locker room and on the field when we're winning and we need to keep the score line as it is, or if we're together to go get a goal, it really feels like we're all on the same page. And I think that helps a lot because, even though sometimes forwards we want to score more goals, or defenders want to keep clean sheets. Sorry, I feel like this year we're really, really together.
And another thing I noticed with what we have this season is you have yourself, you have Bazzini, you have Ethan Zubak. All of you all are similar in size and stature out there on the pitch. Where some teams might go with a big guy and a smaller guy that has super pace up front. What do you feel like with what y'all have? Does it make it easier when you're trying to figure out the tactics, and if you're slotting in players here and there? How does it work for a player of your caliber when you have similarities with other players, and how does that make things easier for you?
I think there's so many ways we can, hurt teams. We've played with, more like tens and then traditional wingers, and we've also put, like you said, bigger sized players like Ethan or Bazzini or myself, up top or on the wings. And I think we've played a lot of different positions too. Like I've been playing winger. Zubak has been playing more on the wing lately, or nine, Bazzini as well. So it's also good to have good rotations. It's harder, I feel like, for teams to defend us as well. So, but yeah, like you said, there's so many different looks that we have, and I think it's also part of a little bit of our success lately is it's harder to predict what we're gonna do.
As much as I want to ask you like 500 questions right now, I want to share the time with my fellow co-host. So I'm going to hand it off to Larry up next.
Lyam, my man, how you doing, buddy?
How are you? Good.
Awesome. Listen, Andy has a slide that I think he's going to try and put up. Team of the week. Okay, let me just say this first of all. Danny Stone, absolutely. Alex Rando, absolutely. Lyam MacKinnon on the bench for team of the week. Are you people kidding me? Come on. Lyam, do you feel a little hard pressed on this one? A little hard done?
To be honest, no. I think if you look at the forwards on this list, to be honest, we got a lot of braces, a lot of goals and assists. So to be honest, for me it's no big deal. To be honest, I would much rather have 2 wins in a week than be on the team of the week. So to be honest, I'm not hurt at all. I just feel like the guys actually deserve it too. So credit to them, to be honest.
That is absolutely
I'm going to jump in.
fair.
Sorry, Larry.
Go ahead, yeah.
I'm going to jump in really quick. I'm going to say Lyam, best answer ever. I love it. It's all about the results. Who cares about the solo accolades right there? Great. I love it. Go, Larry.
And I love the answer too, but Lyam, on your behalf, I'm going to be pissed about this one because I think that you should have been on there. Let's talk a little bit about last season. You started off, you were coming back from the Achilles injury. You came in, you started to get some minutes, scored a brace. Shortly thereafter, you had a very fluke incident at training, if I remember what I was told correctly. How does that affect you mentally as a player to know that, hey, you know what, I just came off of a phenomenal season the year before, and now I'm sidelined for nearly the entire year? How does that affect you mentally, and how do you keep yourself up? Because, man, you were every game last year, you're smiling every time. You're out there in a walking boot, but you are still smiling. How do you do that?
It was definitely the biggest challenge of my career so far. It was the first time I had a very serious injury. But to be honest, I think first of all, the group of guys that we had helped me a lot. I think it's very hard if you don't have anybody to turn to if you're sidelined. But it's actually funny because I had that conversation at the end of the season with the coach, and I was saying that I never really felt like I was, out of the team. Even though I wasn't playing, I always felt like I was involved in, in the team, in the locker room, at training. And that helped me a lot. it's hard work, obviously, to come back. But seeing, the work of my teammates in training, and sometimes the hard results and the good results, and just seeing everybody just grinding every day, whether you're injured or not, it gave me so much motivation to try to, stay fit, first of all, and work to get back to help the team this year. But it was hard mentally, but I don't think it was something where I took it the wrong way. I think I accepted pretty quickly that it was going to be long, and that it was about how hard I can work to get back to my real level. That's one thing I really wanted to is to come back, but not just to be on a team. I wanted to be competitive when I come back, and I put a lot of work even when I went home in Switzerland to get fully fit and competitive.
And there's no question whatsoever right now, Lyam, you are playing at that level that we all expected that we were going to see last year, but we didn't get to because of the injuries. So keep on with that, my man, because we are loving it. One last question, and then I'm going to hand it over to Dylan. Did Danny Stone let you guys out of training early today so that he could go watch the Liverpool game?
I don't believe so. We had a bit of a split group today. But no, I don't think I think training is always the priority, although I think he definitely probably wanted to go watch the game today.
Are you worried about what his mood might be like tomorrow after Liverpool's performance today?
No, I don't think he lets it affect his mood too much, honestly. I think even though he's a big Liverpool fan, I think, like I said before, I think he would rather have us win.
And that's exactly what a manager of a professional soccer team should do. Lyam, man, keep on doing what you're doing. I talked to you in the preseason, and I said, hey, I'm thinking 15 goals this year, and you're on pace for it. So just keep on doing it, brother. Loving you. And I'm going to turn it over and let Dylan talk to you a little bit.
Thank you.
Lyam, it's actually quite funny that Larry brought up the Liverpool match. There is a photo of you in a Liverpool top, obviously. So, please, how do you feel about that Champions League match today? Are you upset?
I had a lot of hope. I was telling Kevin today at training that we're going to come back, and that I was going to text him during the game every time we score. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But yeah, I'm not too down, honestly. I even though I had a lot of hope, I think PSG is honestly might be the best team in the world at the moment. So not the worst team to lose to. But yeah, tough one.
Well, it happens. Obviously, Ekitike looks like he'll be out for a little bit. So, who knows what your summer looks like? If you keep it up, maybe you'll find yourself for some reason on Merseyside. You've been away from, I should say, away from the pitch, because wonderful 2 goals. Yeah, team's playing well. You've been here for a little over a year now. How are you settling into Orange County? What have you enjoyed most about the county itself?
Obviously, it's probably one of the best places to play in USL Championship or even in America. But yeah, it's it's unbelievable. It's just the daily life, to be able to train in the sun every day, to play on our beautiful home field that I think after playing in Tulsa, we're going to all appreciate a little more. But sometimes we talk about it with teammates too. It's when soccer is going bad, it's a harder week. And when soccer is going well, it's an easier week. So I would say the daily life is also affected by how the games are going. But overall, no, Orange County has been such a great place to me, especially the club, people that work at the club and my teammates as well. I felt like I was home from the day I started here. So no, life here is great.
I'm glad to hear it. I hope you feel welcome to stay as long as you'd like, Lyam. I believe Brad has a question for you now.
Yeah, I wanted to touch upon, know Dylan set you up perfectly for kind of what I was going to ask. But coming back from an injury that is season ending, can you walk us through kind of what that takes, to get back to the pitch, what it was like being away for such a while, and what your own personal recovery was?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because the day I got injured, I thought that it was going to be much longer because of just how it felt and the way it happened. But then I was told that it was going to be, around 4 months or so, or 6 months, for between 4 and 6 months. So it kind of gave me a burst of energy right after it happened, and weirdly, I was, happy that it wasn't going to be a year out. So that gave me so much motivation to trying to get back. And we were around it was July. So in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, if I really work really hard, maybe I can start training a little bit before everybody goes home, which I was able to do around the end of November, which was my goal. But yeah, it was definitely difficult. But what helped me too is obviously Grayson was out, so we were kind of working out together and motivating each other. And then Tom was out for a little bit, so us three had some long and really hard workouts together to stay fit, and we were really pushing each other every day. And that helped me so much. Just staying focused, staying disciplined, because obviously it's easy to let yourself slip when you're alone, but when you have teammates to back you, it's always good. But yeah, once I was able to run, that was probably the biggest moment for me in terms of getting back, because then obviously everything was more functional. I was able to get my fitness elsewhere than on the bike, which was very hard in the beginning. So yeah, it was, and then the part in Switzerland where I was home, I made sure to surround myself by professionals to be able to still have the medical people to help me with treatment, and as well as trainers too, to keep my fitness and to get back to the playing and the soccer side of things.
All right, I got one more for you. Just talking about your game in general, I like to ask players, who you model your game off personally. Is there a specific player, or is Lyam MacKinnon's game purely Lyam MacKinnon developed?
Um, well, it's hard to say. I feel like every year or a couple of years, um, my style kind of changes a little bit too. So it's hard to pick a player specifically. Um, but so many wingers and fours that I try to watch. I try to take a little bit from every time I watch a game. I try to observe what they do. But when back in around 2020, I used to be like a massive Mane fan. My dad being from Senegal too, so and then obviously so many top strikers at the moment to watch. But I wouldn't say there's one, but any forward that's playing for Liverpool, I'll definitely have an eye on.
My poor Evertonian heart will disagree with your choice of team, but I'll go ahead and pass it back off to Ray to close this out.
I love the hurt there. I'm hurting when it comes to Premier League stuff, so I don't want to even talk about that. I'm going to do this before I ask what I had planned to ask. There was a question that came through in the fan chat that we just wanted to ask. Do you have any favorite food spots that you've been introduced to in OC? And if so, what is it? Where is it?
Wow, there's a lot. There's many. I would say Tacos Los Cholos in Santa Ana. It's a great one. Let's say there's a place we went to with the entire team, Molo. It's in Newport Beach. It's an Italian place. It's really nice too. Yeah, those two are the first that came into my mind. So
Nice. No problem with that. Speaking of food, I wanted to reintroduce something I was doing last year, which was a quick rapid response this or that segment. And when I typed in US versus Switzerland food, I saw the list of Swiss food and I'm like, nope, I'm not going to be able to pronounce 90% of those. So I switched it up. We're going to do a World Cup theme here. So I'm going to just quickly call off two countries. You tell me which one you're picking for this. Are you ready for this, Lyam? And it's the quickest answer you can get. Don't think about it. Ready? Number one, Switzerland or France?
Switzerland.
England or Germany?
England.
Spain or Portugal?
Spain.
Switzerland or Canada?
Switzerland.
USA or Mexico?
USA.
Switzerland or Bosnia and Herzegovina?
Switzerland.
Herzegovina. Sorry, I messed that up. Bosnia or Herzegovina. I said I'm going to butcher the Swiss food, and I'm butchering countries. Okay. Argentina or Brazil?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say Argentina.
Morocco or Japan?
For Mo, I'll say Morocco. Japan. For Mo.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Okay, here we go. Norway or Uzbekistan?
For Ryan, I'll say Norway.
And last one, we've got Iraq or Jordan?
Jordan.
All right. Yeah. I like it. Jordan making their first ever appearance. That's, you got to go with the underdog from time to time. Lyam, I appreciate you on that. Well, who knows? They haven't announced that they're not playing yet, but hey, if they're not playing, then Lyam's correct. Jordan wins. Cool. Lyam, any last words you have for the fans that support this team week in and week out? And what do you need to hear from them at the stadium at those home matches?
No, just super grateful for their support. Honestly, it's been such a massive help and boost for us. I don't know if they notice it or not, but it makes a massive difference when we're playing. So obviously, let's keep it going. Home games are massive for us this year as well. So same thing. I'm really grateful personally, and I think on behalf of the team as well. Yeah.
Really quick, Lyam, before we let you go, I believe Nico jumped onto maybe our Instagram feed and had a question about favorite Swiss plate. So I want you to basically let us that have never maybe tried Swiss food, what should we try if we're only going to try one thing that's going to make us want to come back for more?
Well, Nico came to visit me in Switzerland in the off season, so he got to try all the different dishes. I think my favorite is called rush tea. It's basically like a big hash brown, like made with potatoes, cheese, bacon, usually. I know Nico liked it too.
All right. And that was one of the ones on this or that for food that was on there. Now I know how to pronounce it. Hopefully I'll remember next time. Lyam, as always, anyone that joins the show, thank you so much for taking your time and speaking with us tonight. Best of luck to you and the boys this weekend and the rest of the season. Keep it going. Just don't give up a goal. And we've got a shoe in for high seed in the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Lyam MacKinnon, your goal scorer for Orange County Soccer Club. A great week for him. Great week for the club. Hopefully they continue that this weekend as they will be facing the team from Kentucky. Yes, right? No, who knows?
Yes, Lexington is in Kentucky.
Yes, but it'll be in Orange County at Championship Soccer Stadium. So good for us not having to travel out to another difficult spot maybe to travel to. We will talk about the team of the week. Let's do that. Let's go straight to that. Larry, take it over. Team of the week.
I mean, I said what I wanted to say. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Lyam is not in the first team in the starting. He doesn't agree with me, and that's okay. He probably knows a little bit more about this game than I do, I'm going to guess. But I love the fact that Danny is the coach of the week. He absolutely 100% should be, because like I mentioned earlier, that game plan against San Antonio was absolutely fantastic. And to go and win on that absolute garbage pitch in Tulsa is actually is also equally just as good. And Rando, I mean, come on, 2 clean sheets. What other goalkeeper are you going to put on your team of the week other than Alex Rando after 2 clean sheets?
There we go. Dylan or Brad, do you all have anything to say about the team of the week before we move in and talk about the upcoming match at home versus Lexington?
I'll take it. Thor Ufarlison, however you say his very Nordic name, had a masterclass against Lou City on Friday of last week, scoring 2 goals, one of them being an absolute worldie of a team effort. If there was ever a player that I think would finish slightly ahead of Lyam this week, got to give it to him. Don't know much about Marcus Anderson's game other than he plays for Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's kind of bad. So if Brooklyn won a game and Marcus Anderson helped there, then good on him. He can have player of the week or team of the week. Beyond that, very well deserved from Alex Rando, and I already touched upon Danny Stone. Seems like an early front runner for Coach of the Year with how the team's been performing.
So let's talk about this upcoming match. Dylan, if you're Lyam MacKinnon and you see that you got snubbed for team of the week, how many goals are you scoring against Lexington this weekend?
To make you happy, 1. Because it's all that Orange County is going to need. Now, 1 still feels like a pretty realistic shout.
Need, right?
Yeah, right. He is our leading goal scorer. Thank you, producer Andy, for this setup here with 3 now. So he's really set himself apart this past week from the half of the rest of the team that seems to also have 1 goal, which is great.
Yeah, and they're facing a Lexington team that isn't in the best of form in this early part of the season. 1 win, 3 losses, 2 draws. So basically 50% of their matches are losses, while Orange County, they have 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. So more than 50% of their matches are victories. I'm expecting a little bit of a breakout in this match, really. I think what we've seen for them so far is showing a blueprint of what they want. I think Orange County has the opportunity to come out here and continue to play very, stingy defense. Let's not give up a goal, but let's see if we can, get maybe 3 in this match. I'm for whatever reason, that's just sort of what I'm feeling right here is I want to see 3 from Orange County against Lexington. I think the confidence as it grows, we're going to see more of that. We have capable scorers on this team. We know what MacKinnon could do. He proved it when he was in USL League One, which we've seen players make the jump to USL Championship and be able to continue that success. We know Ethan has the pedigree to score some goals, and Bazzini has shown that he can score some goals out there, and we know that he's capable. I think this is a good match opportunity for the team to really put, pedal to the metal, try and score some goals while still playing smart, stingy defense and not conceding. Brad, your thoughts on this match against Lexington?
Yeah, I mean, Lexington struggled early out the gate this year, played a couple really difficult teams in the likes of Louisville and San Antonio. Their only win coming from the aforementioned Brooklyn, who's also struggled this year. Got a bunch of players that you're going to look at and you're going to know they have been mainstays across the league. You have Aaron Malloy, you have Marcus Epps, Philip Goodrum. They're gonna be competitive. Going to probably play a lot through Aaron Malloy, who is he's just been one of the mainstays in the league over the last couple of years. So I expect Orange County to really put pressure on the midfield, as we've had success over the last couple of weeks in doing. Because if we win there, definitely going to hopefully have a little bit of an easy path to a victory this week.
What about you, Larry? Thoughts of this upcoming match against Lexington?
If we go out and do what we've been doing, easy 3 points. My concern, though, is that when you have a team that is very off form coming in to play a team that is very on form, sometimes you have that trap game where you just play down to your competition. So hopefully that does not happen on Saturday. I do not actually believe that it will. I think we are on too good of a run right now, and I think we're fully going to take advantage of Lexington struggling, and I think we should walk away with an easy 3.
Yeah, I know you bring up the thought of a trap game on this. I think Orange County has been very steady with what they have. We look at their results so far this season, and it's been very steady, regardless if it's teams that are looking better, teams that are looking a little bit lower on the table. I mean, the one hiccup you potentially have maybe is against Phoenix in the Open Cup, but hey, that's Open Cup. It doesn't really count for USL Championship, so let's not even think about it. But other than that, I mean, they've looked solid. I believe their results this season in league play, they've never conceded more than 1 goal in a match. Obviously, they've only conceded 3, so that would make sense. I think this is a team right now with the confidence, the mentality that they're going to be able to play their level and not play to the level of the competition. Thus, it should be something where they can get the victory. Brad, I saw it looks like you maybe are unmuting to say something. Go for it.
No, I was making sure that I was muted because I had a little cough.
Okay, no problem. Dylan, score prediction for this match.
Why not keep the clean sheets rolling? Let's say 2-0 Orange County.
Get my other finger there. 3-0 is going to be my prediction.
Okay.
3-0 is my prediction. Brad, what's yours?
I swear I'm not copying Dylan's homework, but him and I are on the same page on a lot of areas in today's game, or this upcoming weekend's game. 2-0 Orange County. Keep the rando clean sheet going.
Larry, prediction from you.
3-1 OC.
Perfect. With that said, let's go ahead and get to the wrapping up of things here. Before we do so, I want to open it up to any of y'all. Do y'all have anything you want to talk about before we get to our random thoughts / what did we learn?
I got one piece of team news to report on before it becomes old news later this week, but happy birthday to the aforementioned rando coming up this week. His birthday is tomorrow.
I guess we just don't sound super excited because I think we all know what's coming. Go for it, producer Andy. For those of you who aren't joining us live tonight or watching, that's fine. Club announced that after the match, or nearing the end of the match against San Antonio, that someone used a racial slur or presumably used a racial slur towards a match official. Of course, Wednesday night's officiating team had 3 people of color, so it could be any number of comments, but Orange County identified said person and banned them from the stadium. I feel Brad called me out in the kind of chat we have a few hours ago, and I feel like it naturally falls to me because I've been very critical of the club in the past for their non-committal words that they've used when things like this arise. Here, they had a chance to do, to act, and they actually acted quite well. You ban the person, you go for it. There's no rehabilitating this situation. Unfortunately, we live in a culture at this point which is okay with things like saying racial slur. Look, we've truly gone back in time. It is nice to see that Orange County as a club is maybe eschewing some of its more negative surroundings in the county, and is saying, hey, this isn't what we're about. This isn't acceptable. And yeah, obviously, if you get caught doing this at a match, you're going to get thrown out. And because I'm a bad person, as the wokest member of the team, if you will, if you hear this happening at the match or you see this happening in the match, crack some skulls together. Why not? This is where we are in the world. And then get him banned from the stadium. That's all I had
There
for
we
this
go.
one. That was a really long time of me talking, but yeah, that's how you stamp this stuff out. You call it out. You absolutely make sure that it's clear that it's not welcome. And then the club doesn't have to do anything about it. But it's nice if they do.
Brad, Larry, do either of you have a thought on this?
Couldn't agree more with what Dylan said and with the club's action in regards to this. There's no place for it. There's no reason for it. This is 2026. It is not 1956. Knock this crap off. Grow up, get over it, and hey. Hopefully, the guy never is allowed ever to come back.
If Brad doesn't have anything, I will share my quick thoughts on this before we move on. Here's my thoughts on it. Heckling, go for it. Heckle all you want, but heckle the right way. You don't need to bring in race, gender, sexual orientation into your heckle. Example, in the Open Cup match a few weeks back when we were hosting Phoenix, I was heckling the center ref, calling him CB Buckner because of some of the horrendous calls he was making. He heard me, and he actually reacted to it. I don't remember his reaction, but I said it. And in the greater context of things, I'm not using any kind of gender, race, sexual orientation, or anything like that. I'm basically saying you are the same as a horrible umpire. And I know Larry's getting fuming at the ears because he's a fellow, I'm bashing one of his fellow umpires in the world. But that was my heckling that I had there. And then I heckled the coach, basically saying, how much did you pay the ref to make those calls? But nothing involved in any of that is what I would consider horrible ways to do stuff. There's ways to do stuff. There's ways to not do stuff. I will say that. Getting into random thoughts. Let's wrap this thing up with some random thoughts here. And you can react to me, Larry, if you want to in your random thought, plus share a random thought. Here's my random thought. And I'm going to be as quick as I can on this. Speaking of the match in the Open Cup a few weeks back, if you did not know, and my fellow co-hosts here know, I did a lot of research when I was trying to look up this information. Obviously, there are many soccer leagues in this world, but there was a record in that Open Cup match that was obtained for Orange County versus Phoenix. The record that I was able to determine was the most yellow cards issued in a match without a single red card being issued. In that match, there were 16 yellow cards issued. One was a coach. So if we don't even count that, 15 for players. I think the closest thing I could find was a match in the Premier League that was 13 or 14. I think Chelsea was involved in that match. Look it up. I can't remember now at this point. The only other match I could find with 16 yellow cards and 0 reds. It is an asterisk next to it because it was a amateur Czechia league match or league match, amateur match between two teams. The team was losing 5-0. They scored a goal, and every single player on the pitch plus 5 players that were on the bench decided to celebrate by taking their shirts off, which obviously, if you know the rules of the league, that's an automatic yellow. Thus 16 yellow cards all at one time. I don't count that because that had nothing to do with the field of play. But for those of you that were in attendance or watching live, you watched world history in soccer. 16 yellow cards, no red cards. If you don't want to count the coach, 15 yellow cards, no red cards, a record. As far as I could tell. Now, obviously, I can only look so far into various leagues worldwide, but I used the help of Gemini for about 2 hours asking multiple questions, trying to figure that out. That was a record. Maybe not a record that the league or the team want to talk about, but it was a record that you witnessed. Dylan, your random thought. Or what you learned, if you want to say.
Yeah, what did I learn tonight? Ray is horrible at heckling.
All right, Larry. He's gonna defend CB Buckner, so go for it.
No, I'm not. Because that's not important because I know how good of an umpire I am. Behind me here in my green screen is my son Grayson, who when you guys next see me, because I will not be on the show next week, but when you see me next, that guy behind me right there will officially be 18 years old, allowed to vote, allowed to drink. Oh, wait, sorry. I just let him drink anyway if he wants to, just only at home. But he will be allowed to go and volunteer and die for his country, but he can't have a beer. So go figure that logic out. Anyway, my boy's turning 18 on Monday. So Grayson, happy birthday early. Love you, pal.
Brad, I want to get your random thought and or what did you learn? But first, you got to react. Do you agree with Maddie? Let athletes strip. Go for it.
I don't like being put on the spot there in this regard. That's a take, and I'm gonna
It's a
leave
great
my
take. That's an excellent
okay.
take.
Okay.
Specifically only in men's soccer. Like Jack Gurr gets to wear short shorts, and I hope
That's not very
you know,
feministic of you. Anyways,
That's not a
back to my random thought.
Two words from Brad tonight, by the way.
Back to my random thought, which has been completely derailed. We're already 6 minutes over. But welcome back to Earth, to the Artemis crew. 10 days in space. If you watched them come back to Earth on, I think it was Saturday, absolutely wonderful for space exploration, and I'm excited for the next steps there.
But Brad, haven't you watched all the social media like investigators that have proven that was not ever that didn't ever happen?
that was social medias.
Social medias. Yep. The social medias reporters. With that said, we got to wrap things up. We're already past our time, as Dylan said. Let's wrap this thing up. I want to thank everyone that participated in this episode, including my fellow co-hosts, Brad, Larry, Dylan, producer Andy, our special guest for tonight, Lyam MacKinnon, the goal scorer for Orange County Soccer Club. All of y'all that participated in the chats, including Maddie talking about letting players strip. Who knows? Thank you for watching this. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, and we are out.